Well, well, well. After. Wait, let me count. 6 years! After almost 6 years! Guess which game is finally making a comeback? Guess which game finally decides to make a proper sequel to what it is doing? Dead or Alive 6 has just revealed its trailer. And yes, I have looked at the trailer, I have looked at different parts of it. There might be a new girl in the beginning, maybe that's phase 4, going into battle with Hayabusa or whatnot. And the a lot of it does it does look similar to Dead or Alive 5, but it looks more smoother and more fluid, if you will, than Dead or Alive 5. Well, the base game of Dead or Alive 5. Because, see, here's the thing with Dead or Alive. I never liked the Virtua Fighter ripoff that it was. That once you hit someone in the air, they will just casually float like a like a shopping bag in the breeze. They'll just casually float up there while you do all the damage. I never liked that aspect of Dead or Alive 5. Also, I never liked the aspect of only two basic attack buttons and one block button, which can be used in combination. I thought the attack system was way too simple. I mean, look what happened to Street Fighter. If I'm not mistaken, Street Fighter shifted to a four button system, and guess what? It resurrected the series with Street Fighter 4. It resurrected the damn series. Because people got sick and tired of this bullshit. Of the Sega Genesis the Sega Genesis the configuration bullshit. People got sick and tired of it. So this Dead or Alive, what it needs to do, Dead or Alive 6. I'm sorry, I played both games. I played Dead or Alive, I played Tekken, and to an extent I played Virtua Fighters as well. The thing that pisses me off about Virtua Fighters is the repetitiveness. It is very repetitive throughout all games with almost no story to it. I'm like, so why am I playing this game again? At least when you add a story, it adds a bit of context. Virtua Fighter seems to be one of those games that is void of the context. I mean, how many times is Dural gonna show up as the main boss again? Like, and even as a fighting game, it feels incomplete because the depth in the move list, the depth in the move set is not there as much as it is in some other games. Okay, I mean, take what's that guy's name? Wolf from Virtua Fighters. Take Wolf for example. Compare his forget King. Compare his moveset to Tina Armstrong. Compare his moveset just to Tina Armstrong. You'll see Tina Armstrong has a deeper moveset than Wolf. And this is why I'm like it's Virtua Fighter for me. It felt, and no, the Virtua Fighter I'm talking about is Virtua Fighter 4. It felt so bland. And Dead or Alive is ripping off Virtua Fighters, a bland game. So here's what Dead or Alive needs to do. Like, first of all, with Dead or Alive 5, they tried. Oh, it took them 5 games. 5 games to even introduce sidestepping. And people think Dead or Alive was more 3D than Tekken. Man, go screw yourselves, man. With a screwdriver to the brain, go screw yourselves. Yeah. Like, it took them 5 games to introduce, a 3D based move. And yet people thought Dead or Alive is more 3D than Tekken. Tekken did it in Tekken 3. It didn't even take them 5 years to do it. And then they build upon it. And good lord, after re-release, after re-release and re-release and remake and remake and re-release and remake, we finally get a new game. Dead or Alive 5 Plus, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, these are not new games. These are upgrades to a previous game. Tekken Tag 2 is not an upgrade to Tekken Tag 1. Tekken Tag 2 is a different game. What's that called? Tekken Revolution or Evolution or something like that? That could be considered a remake. But I'm not even counting that in the main Tekken series. Okay, from what else we saw from this trailer? It seems to be more dark, which I'm completely okay with. Listen, yeah, a lot of people like the partial nudity stuff. How many times are you going to see the same women in the same costume, in the same poses? How many times are you going to see it? We've been seeing this shit for 2 decades. We've been seeing this shit since more than 2 decades. Dead or Alive 1 came out, I believe, 1996. Since 1996, we've been seeing the same shit. You want all that? You want all of them bitches to act like 9-year-olds? Go play Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation or Dead or Alive Extreme 3 or some other garbage like that. Okay? You wonder you wonder why people don't take Dead or Alive seriously as a fighting game? No, actual fighters, they don't take Dead or Alive that seriously. I'm like, what the fuck is, like, it's an eye candy game. So that's what I need. More emphasis on fighting depth. Not only juggling depth, not only stage depth, no. The depth in the moveset. Perfect example. Look at Tekken 7. Not the new characters. No. The new characters in Tekken 7 are a problem. They're very, very inequivalent, inadequate replacements of all the people they took out. And yes, if you ask me, that is the biggest problem with Tekken 7. They took out a lot of characters and their replacements are not good. That is the only problem with Tekken 7. The other stuff, no, they're not a problem. They're not a problem with Tekken 7. They replace some of the moves. I'm good. They replace the bounce system. I'm good. They try. Hell, they even included the rage arts and the power crush arts. If you're gonna be such a bitch about it, you don't like them, don't use it. It's called impulse control. If majority of you don't have impulse control, then I'm sorry, you're gonna have a lot of troubles in life. You're gonna end up seeing a lot of therapists, a lot of mental and psychological therapists. You're gonna burn a lot of money if you just don't have basic impulse control. Okay, no, but that's another topic. That's completely another topic. So I want more fighting depth, like not just juggle based, but I want more like I want Dead or Alive to feel more organic, if you can put it that way. Tekken, like it or hate it, Tekken feels very, very organic. Like, as a fighting game. Dead or Alive, even until Dead or Alive last round, like the gameplay that I've seen, it does not feel organic. It it feels weird. It feels like one person is moving at 80 frames per second, another person taking the hits is moving at 10 frames per second. So I want that to be removed. And another thing oh yes, another thing. I want more of an intricate storyline. Not to put us in a situation where they force us to play with every character, like in Dead or Alive 5, even characters we don't like. Here's what I suggest. Have 2 or 3 storylines and divide up the characters. Like, the main characters, your Kasumi and your Ayane and your Hayate and your Hayabusa and whatnot. Put them in one storyline. And, man, who the fuck is called Rig? Yeah, Rig and whatnot, Helena, whatnot. Just put them in one storyline. Then you have your goofballs like Elliot and Dennis Rodman wannabe Zach and Tina and whatnot. Put them in another storyline, and your kiddish characters, your sorry, your Hitomis and your Lei Fangs and whatnot. Put them in a third character, and your badasses like Bayman and Jan Lee and whatnot. Put them in a fourth story scenario. I would divide it up like that. And here's the second biggest problem of Tekken 7. This is why, if you watch my video on Tekken 7, I give it a 7 out of 10. IGN gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I thought I was one of the biggest Tekken fans. I gave it a 7 out of 10 because the story just focused on the Mishima family, and they took away so much from the rest of the roster. It felt very incomplete. So Dead or Alive, they have a perfect opportunity to look at this and see that how to make a complete game. The story they had for the Mishima family, it was done very well. Very well, to the point where it is even debatable whether Akuma is canon or not canon. Because in a complete storyline, Akuma was given his own dialogues and his own cutscenes in the main storyline. A lot of people in the main roster did not get this. Like, your people like King and your Warang and your Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu, who's been there since the very first Tekken, did not get this. The guest character Akuma got this. Like I said, own cutscenes, own dialogues, and own special fights within the main storyline. So it is even debatable whether he is canon or not. I'm more leaning towards yes. This might be where they introduced Akuma, into canon. So if they're gonna introduce more characters, instead of doing what they did in Dead or Alive 5, where they just had a brief cameo of Akira and Sarah Bryant, that does not make them canon. Because in Dead or Alive 5 you played as everyone. Like, there was no special emphasis placed that was so distinct. Yeah, you play as Kasumi 3 times and whatnot, but like I said, you play as everyone. No one from the main roster is left out. So I would like to see that improved. And yes, in the end we saw Kasumi with a different costume, and it looked like she had bruises on her face. A little bit on the left one, but the right cheek, there was a big bruise on it. If they're gonna go with that, I'm completely okay with it. I'm completely okay with it. Like, focus more on the fighting than the that stupid milking of, like, 5 billion DLCs of, like, the same, recycling the same costumes over and over again. Like, focus more on the fighting. So it's gonna be darker. It looks like it's gonna be more violent. Completely okay with. And this is just my personal thing. This is just my personal thing. And no, I don't take anything from Tekken 7, because after Dead or Alive 5 came out, I've been calling for this. One of the main characters need to die. One of the, preferably not Ryu Hayabusa, because Ryu Hayabusa is connected to the Ninja Gaiden series. Preferably either Hayate or Kasumi. One of these two need to die. Because no, the only, and maybe this is just me, but the only purpose for this is to sell you on the gravity of the story. Because the story for DOA is although not presented better, it is still, like, somewhat, like, on face value, it looks and reads better and sounds better than that of Tekken. So just to increase this gap a bit more, just add that tragedy element. No, not Phase 4. Like, yeah, Phase 4 can also die, but we already had a fake Kasumi die in Dead or Alive 5. I thought, okay, yeah, they're gonna do that. Like, nope. Nope. Right the scene after, the active one showed up. Okay, so those are my thoughts on what I want to see from Dead or Alive 6. This trailer, it looked good for what it is, and the release date is early 2019. So it's gonna be 6.5 years, almost 6.5 years, maybe more than 6.5 years since Dead or Alive 5, the base game, came out. So, am I gonna buy it? Yes, I'm going to buy the base game. I am not going to buy any DLCs or any of those stupid upgrades, and, like, Dead or Alive 6 ultimate rebooted Revolution edition, or some shit like that. So that's about it. Let me know what you guys thought, what you guys expect out of Dead or Alive 6. And as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, TanTaggers01. This is Game 10 with the Bengal Dragon signing out.